Hello there YouTube, Sea Monsters here. Recently I've been exchanging emails, communication with another YouTuber, a gentleman who goes by the handle of How About the Truth. You may know him if you're watching Apostle P's channel. He and Apostle P do some collaborative videos where he sends Apostle P knives to review. Super fun stuff. This gentleman really knows a lot about slip joint knives, and since that's a big interest for me, we have a good time interacting together. One of our recent conversations was about Queen Cutlery Company. It's currently owned by the Daniels family, and it's been around since, I believe, 1922. They produce, in addition to Queen knives, Schatt and Morgan knives, and the box you see in front of you is an example of a Schatt Morgan box. We were talking about how their quality bounces up and down. It'll go from being great to not so great. And I happened to buy a recent example. It's a large Gunstock Jack, and he asked me to make a video on it, so that's what I'm doing. And in front of you is that knife. I own a number of Schatt Morgan knives, and overall their quality is generally quite nice. When Bill Howard, the current owner of Great Eastern Cutlery, ran it, at least the production side of it, their knives were breathtakingly beautiful, which is what you see at GEC now. And since Bill and Ken Daniels left to form Great Eastern Cutlery, Queen struggled a little bit, and of course with the Daniels coming back, hopefully that'll right itself. This knife here, and I've bought a few Schatt Morgans recently, and the quality's been really hit and miss, but this knife I feel like is somewhat of a redemption. It's got burnt stag handle scales, nickel silver bolsters front and rear. If you look closely, you'll see that they are chamfered, meaning that they're got a bevel around them. No sharp edges. Very nice. The fit between the springs, the liners, the scales, it's perfect. And this is a heavy knife. This is a substantially built knife. I mean, very tight, very heavy. There is a little bit of gapping, and you may be able to see it between the secondary blades spring and the inner liner. But other than that, really this is a very tight, very well put together knife. Now you will see that the entire knife seems to kind of slant that way, even if I hold it straight up. Hopefully you can see what I'm talking about. That is a quality flaw, but these are semi-custom knives, so there's a lot of handwork in them. It does make this one very unique, but they could have done a little bit better job with it. The front bolster and springs don't show evidence of that. You can see nice thick back springs, and again they're beautifully put together, very flush, no lines between the stag scales, shields pinned on. I love how that shield looks. And let's take a look at the blades. Nice spring tension on them. Let's wipe off some, kind of like the Apostle P's got to wipe all the blades down, so do I. So there's a big blade. It has kind of an orange peel finish, which I actually kind of like. I normally like my blades with the polish to be a little cleaner looking than that, but the orange peel finish is different. Nice big blade, and I have kind of large hands, so it's a good sized knife. And the lockup between the tang of the blade and the back spring is fantastic. I mean, it's got a slight ledge there, but other than that, it's nice and tight. Again, no half springs on this, so you just kind of work with it. Main blade is a clip blade. You can see it's etched on there, S and M. Go ahead and laugh all you want. I mean Schatt Morgan, not the other thing. It says file and wire tested. If you want to read up on what that means, you can do so. It's also stamped back here, F&W, QC, which is Queen Cutlery. Again, nice tight lockup right here. The billboard etch on the blade there, I would like it to be a lot smaller. That's a little gaudy in my view. But that aside, feels nice. In the hand, that little point ridge of the secondary blade kind of has to impose on the fingers. You kind of have to be careful where you wrap things around. But all in all, not too bad. Really, this is a nice knife. It's not inexpensive. I think I paid $120, $130 for it. But all in all, this is something that Queen can be proud of. They did a nice job with it. It's a good looking knife, well put together. My only real complaint is that parallelogram going on at the rear bolster. But even that, not a real big deal. Love that shield. Just absolutely love it. Looks kind of rustic. I don't know how they did that, but it just looks great. Beautiful, beautiful knife. Beautiful handle scales. Good stuff. Good job, Queen. By the way, the history of Schatt Morgan and Queen is a great read. You can look it up online. I think All About Pocket Knives has a nice write-up on it. It's just fascinating how rich and interesting the history of the knife companies are, particularly the old slip joint knife companies. Look at that gorgeous knife. Great stuff. And I'm really thrilled to see knives in this day and age being produced that are old slip joint design. I mean, in the era of modern folding locking knives, the Striders, the Chris Reeves, which are great knives, I have them. Several models actually. And the Benchmates and the Spydercos, I have an embarrassing number of both. But I thoroughly enjoy them. I mean, if you're a real knife fan, why pick one genre when you can pick so many different ones? But most of the new stuff just doesn't have the history that these old companies have. Rich, fascinating, some of the personalities of the people involved, some of them are very interesting. And Case isn't the only one out there producing old slip joint knives. GEC does it better than anybody as far as I'm concerned. And then Queen, when they put their minds to it, they make a nice knife. Just like this. Hope you enjoyed the video. You might want to check this stuff out. If I remember right, I got this, I want to say from Mike at collectorknives.net. Great guy to deal with, Mike Latham. If you haven't checked out his site or bought anything from him, I recommend him highly. Thanks, people. Take care.